Many researchers struggle when it comes to writing the review of related literature for their research paper. Are you one of them? Hi, welcome to another day of learning with Ma'am Balbia. In this lesson video, we will talk about how to write a literature review. The basic elements of Chapter 2, entitled Review of Related Literature, are related studies or literature review, conceptual or theoretical frameworks, hypothesis if there is, and definition of terms. We will start with the first element. What is literature review? A literature review is a comprehensive overview of all the knowledge available on your research question or topic till date. The first step you take in the direction of conducting research is learn more about the previous research published on your chosen topic and eventually translates into literature review when you write your research paper. Literature review is one of the pillars on which your research idea stands, since it provides context, relevance, and background to the research problem you are exploring. Basically, there are five key steps in writing the literature review. First, search for relevant literature. Before you begin searching for literature, you need to make a list of keywords related to your research question or title. Then use your keywords to begin searching for sources. Second, evaluate and select sources. Make sure the sources you use are credible, and make sure you read any landmark studies and major theories in your field of research. As you read, you should also begin the writing process. It is important to keep track of your sources with citations to avoid plagiarism. Third, identify themes, debates, and gaps. To begin organizing your literature review's argument and structure, you need to understand the connections and relationships between the sources you've read. Based on your reading and notes, you can look for trends and patterns. Do certain approaches become more or less popular over time? Themes? What questions or concepts recur across the literature? Debates, conflicts, and contradictions? Where do sources disagree? Pivotal publications? Are there any influential theories or studies that change the direction of the field? And gaps. What is missing from the literature? Are there weaknesses that need to be addressed? Fourth, outline the structure. There are various approaches to organize the body of a literature review. The first one, chronological. It is the simplest approach to trace the development of the topic over time. However, if you choose this strategy, be careful to avoid simply listing and summarizing sources in order. Try to analyze patterns, turning points, and key debates that have shaped the direction of the field. Give your interpretation of how and why certain developments occurred. Thematic. If you have found some recurring central themes, you can organize your literature review into subsections that address different aspects of the topic. For example, if you are reviewing literature about inequalities in migrant health outcomes, key themes might include healthcare policy, language barriers, cultural attitudes, legal status, and economic access. Methodological. If you draw your sources from different disciplines or fields that use a variety of research methods, you might want to compare the results and conclusions that emerge from different approaches. For example, look at what results have emerged in qualitative versus quantitative research. Discuss how the topic has been approached by empirical versus theoretical scholarship. Divide the literature into sociological, historical, and cultural sources. Theoretical. A literature review is often the foundation for a theoretical framework. You can use it to discuss various theories, models, and definitions of key concepts. You might argue for the relevance of a specific theoretical approach or combine various theoretical concepts to create a framework for your research. Finally, you are now ready to write your literature review. Your literature review should have an introduction, a main body, and a conclusion. Introduction. The introduction should clearly establish the focus and purpose of the literature review. Literature review body. You might want to divide the body into subsections. You can use a subheading for each theme, time period, or methodological approach. The following are suggestions you may use in writing your literature review body. First, summarize and synthesize. Give an overview of the main points of each source and combine them into a coherent whole. Analyze and interpret. Don't just paraphrase other researchers. Add your own interpretations where possible, discussing the significance of findings in relation to the literature as a whole. Critically evaluate. Mention the strengths and weaknesses of your sources. Lastly, write in well-structured paragraphs. Use transition words and topic sentences to draw connections, comparisons, and contrasts. The third part of the literature review body is the conclusion. In the conclusion, you should summarize the key findings you have taken from the literature and emphasize their significance. Always remember, a good literature review doesn't just summarize sources. It analyzes, synthesizes, and critically evaluates to give a clear picture of the state of knowledge on the subject. With this, I hope you can now start writing your literature review. God bless.